After the Philadelphia Eagles traded Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers last Friday, could the Eagles trade for Falcons tight end and local product Kyle Pitts? We're talking about that here on Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. And as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. I do want to begin with this, though. I was watching the Cowboys report, and the Cowboys report host Tom Downey said, on the upcoming Philadelphia Eagles Now video, there's no chance that they're going to get 1,000 likes. He said, Chase Sr.'s an absolute fraud, and they're not going to hit that number. F Dallas, F Tom, and let's prove him and the Cowboys fans wrong. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, go Birds, and let's get over 1,000 likes right now. As for that Bryce Huff trade, here are the details because it does set the foundation for what we're going to discuss on today's show, and it's always good to give you a reminder. The 49ers receiving Bryce Huff didn't work out for Howie Roseman. $34 million in guaranteed money, and he was out of the rotation by season's end last year and a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl really from the very beginning. Vic Fangio in training camp, preseason, during the regular season, never trusted Bryce Huff. And we started to talk about it last year. That screamed of a Howie Roseman signing. Howie really liked him. Vic Fangio got him on the field and said, he's not a scheme fit for what I want to do. And you guys are paying me a lot of money to be the best defensive coordinator in the game. I've been doing this for decades. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to run my system my way. I like Nolan Smith. I like Jalen Hunt. I like Brandon Graham. I don't like Bryce Huff. Josh Sweat was balling out. And so Vic Fangio never really played Huff all that much. The Eagles receiving a mid-round pick. That deal not official as of this recording. And Philadelphia will save $2.4 million in 2025 cap space and save nearly $8 million in cash while also opening up a roster spot. More financials here for Philadelphia because of the post-June 1 designation cuts of Darius Slay and James Bradbury. This opens up $6.4 million in cap space for Philadelphia now that those post-June 1 cuts are official. And so the trade of Bryce Huff has opened up some dollars. And then the releases of Darius Slay and James Bradbury have also opened up some financial capital for Howie Roseman. So as it stands right now, the Eagles in a good position cap-wise. They have $25.5 million in cap room, according to Over the Cap, with that salary cap of $279.2 million, an all-time high in the National Football League. And that is good, the $25.5 million number, for 16th among 32 teams in cap space for Howie Roseman and this team. And so, could a move happen? I know that the Eagles redid that deal for Dallas Goedert, but you look ahead, he's going to be a free agent after this year. Grant Calcaterra is going to be a free agent after this year. And I know Kyle Pitts has not developed or turned into the player who pretty much everybody thought he was going to become coming out of Florida. But my gosh, 6'6", 250, and he's still only 24 years old, turning 25 in October. You just know, or at least you think, there's a better player in there. And when you're playing for an awful organization like the Atlanta Falcons, sometimes you can't be or become your very best. When you come to Philadelphia, a player development hub that they've been, especially under Nick Sirianni, that's when a move like this becomes enticing. This tweet the other day from Jordan Schultz outlining that multiple teams have reached out to the Falcons about the availability of Kyle Pitts. Nothing is imminent, and Atlanta would prefer to keep him. But Jordan Schultz is told it would take at least a day 2 pick to spark serious talks for Atlanta to even think about trading their former high first-round pick. Falcoholic blog. Keep in mind, this is a blog that covers the Atlanta Falcons. They mention the Eagles as a trade destination that makes a lot of sense. Here's what they said. Both Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, free agents in 2026. Goddard is set to cost $20.6 million against the cap if he stays, while also another potential vertical option for Jalen Hurts and company in the present Pitts could also be a possible option to help guide the room into the future next to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Also, Kyle Pitts grew up less than an hour from Philadelphia, so the homecoming could just be what the doctor ordered. A lot of you who are into football in the Philadelphia area know that Kyle Pitts went to Archbishop Wood, which is in Warminster, Pennsylvania. Now, Kyle Pitts was one of my favorite draft prospects coming out in the 2021 draft. What he did at Florida, how unique he was as a player and a prospect, he was a sure thing in my eyes. I thought he was a bona fide star. It just hasn't come to fruition. Now, keep in mind, a couple of coaching changes for Kyle Pitts, a couple of new offensive coordinators, bad quarterback play. In year one, he was targeted 110 times, 68 catches, more than 1,000 yards. What's so odd, though, is even though he was really productive that year, 1 touchdown. And in his entire career, 4 touchdowns in 2024, 3 in 2023, 2 in 2022, only 1 in 2021. That's 10 career touchdowns in 4 years for Kyle Pitts. For a player who is this gifted, he hasn't been able to find the end zone like he should. 2022, he was injured, numbers down. 2023, played every game, still only had 667 yards and 3 touchdowns. And this past year, 602 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. He's also had some bad drops, some fumble issues, and people from time to time have questioned his work ethic, which obviously will raise some red flags. But why this is intriguing for Howie and the Eagles. Howie, over the last few years in particular, has taken a lot of chances. He's signed and traded for a lot of guys who have been high picks by other teams because he thinks that draft capital and draft pedigree really does matter, just like he thinks NFL bloodlines matter. Also, the Eagles have done a great job of maximizing, developing, and bringing the best out of players. Kyle Pitts' best football could be ahead of him. Again, he's going to be 25 years old in October, and if he comes close to home, if he gets motivated, if he gets put on an offense like this with better quarterback play, this offensive line, a great ground game, a complimentary defense, good coaching, that's when Kyle Pitts can maybe become the player who almost everybody thought he was going to be coming out of Florida. So today's poll question is this, and I know a lot of people are going to go back and forth here. Would you trade a third rounder for Kyle Pitts? T for trade, P for pass. I don't think I would. I'd rather just think about signing Dallas Goedert to a contract extension. He can block. He's dynamic in picking up yards after the catch. He's more proven. Tight ends can age very well. And I just think that Goedert is a better player for this Eagles team. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, that's cool. Just share your thoughts with me down in the comment section right now. Also, we just got a new shipment of Eagles Now hats. We've had so many real ones who support this channel buy these hats. That's why we sold out. If you want one to support the program, to support the company movement, to support the Philadelphia Eagles, and you get to rock that beautiful channel logo, you can Venmo me $50 at Chase_Senior. I've already had a couple of people reach out to me to send me a Venmo. Still plenty of hats available. But if you want one, you just scan that QR code or you plug in my Venmo username at Chase_Senior. I know some people are like, Chase, the Fanatics Super Bowl hats, they're on sale, and the Eagles Now hats are $50. Fanatics is a massive supplier. We are a YouTube channel and a digital sports media company. We make these hats ourselves. So obviously they're going to be a little bit pricier, but it goes a long, long way in supporting the channel, and I certainly appreciate that if you do buy one. So my trade idea is this. If, according to Jordan Schultz, the Falcons are looking for a day 2 pick, let's call it a third rounder, right? The Eagles are set up very nicely as far as their draft capital looking ahead into the 2026 draft. And the Eagles, as of right now, could have 3 third-round picks in 2026. More on that in a second. So if the Falcons want a third rounder, and if that's the going rate for Kyle Pitts, How about the Eagles give up a 2026 third from the New York Jets, and the Eagles get Kyle Pitts? If he works out, makes your offense better. You could sign him to a contract extension. If not, you let him walk, and you still have a couple of third-rounders at your disposal. Here's a look at the Eagles' 2026 draft capital. They are locked and loaded for this upcoming draft. They have their own first-round pick, their own second-round pick, those 3 thirds potentially, their own, a pick from the Jets, and they could get a compensatory pick for the Milton Williams signing by the New England Patriots. They also have their own 4th-rounder. They could get a compensatory pick for Josh Sweat, signing with the Cardinals. They have their own 5th, a 5th from the Texans, a 5th from the Falcons. They could get a compensatory pick for Mekhi Becton, signing with the Chargers, and they have their own 7th-round pick. My gosh, Howie Roseman, he has done it again. But you look at this Eagles tight end room. I like this room a lot. And it is a little bit interesting because the Eagles did not sign Dallas Goedert to a contract extension, and so clearly they are keeping their options open for beyond 2025. They're looking to obviously run it back this year and become defending Super Bowl champions. And Goedert was a huge player for this Eagles offense last year, and he has been since he was drafted in 2018. But look, he's a little bit older. He is expensive. He's been injured a lot. And so if you want to take a chance on Kyle Pitts as another weapon who can also be like kind of a hybrid wide receiver, you already have some wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 questions. That's why Kyle Pitts could make some sense. But look, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think I'd make this trade. I think this room is good enough for this year. Kyle Pitts, the idea of him is better than the player who he actually is. Greg Calcaterra, Harrison Bryant, Kylan Granson, those are pretty solid backup tight ends as well to round out the depth of that unit. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram, by the way, at Chase_Senior. In addition to all of the Eagles content that I give you here on YouTube, I'm always talking birds over there as well.